There are very few people who can go from being a complete unknown to becoming the most wanted man in an entire cartel almost overnight. Yet that is exactly what happened to Juan Carlos Valencia González. For years, he lived in the shadow of one of the most notorious drug lords in the world, a man held responsible for a multi-billion-dollar empire, a trail of violence across Mexico, and an organization that grew into one of the most powerful cartels on earth, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, better known as El Mencho. But now that El Mencho appears to be gone from the scene, all attention has shifted to his possible successor. And surprisingly, it is not one of his own sons. Instead, the man now being named as the new leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG, is his stepson, Juan Carlos Valencia González. And that may be what makes this story even more fascinating. Because while El Mencho grew up in the poor hills of Jalisco, Juan Carlos began his life hundreds of miles away, in California, on American soil. That fact alone makes him different from almost every other major cartel leader in modern history. Juan Carlos Valencia González was born in Santa Ana, California. His mother was Rosalinda González Valencia, a woman who would later become one of the most important financial figures behind the CJNG. His biological father was Armando Valencia Cornelio, the former leader of the Valencia Cartel. In other words, Juan Carlos was born into a family where drug trafficking was not an exception. It was a daily reality. When Rosalinda later entered a relationship with El Mencho, Juan Carlos found himself in the immediate orbit of a man who was building one of the largest criminal organizations in the world. While many cartel leaders have to fight their way up from the streets, Juan Carlos grew up at the very top of the Mexican underworld. Yet for years, he remained remarkably invisible. While names like El Chapo, El Mayo, and El Mencho dominated headlines around the world, Juan Carlos largely stayed out of the spotlight. That was probably no accident. Within major criminal organizations, the most dangerous people are often not the ones constantly seeking attention. They are the men operating behind the scenes, the people maintaining contacts, managing money flows, and keeping the organization running while others attract the headlines. According to American and Mexican security agencies, Juan Carlos had been one of those figures for years. Within the CJNG, he was known by several nicknames. The most famous was probably 03 or R3. The nickname may seem insignificant, but within the cartel, it carried deeper meaning. El Mencho was considered number 1. His son, El Menchito, was considered number 2, and insiders described Juan Carlos as number 3. That alone reveals how high he had already risen within the organization long before the world began learning his name. As the CJNG expanded into a global cartel, Juan Carlos appeared more frequently in intelligence reports. According to multiple investigations, he played an important role within the cartel's military wing. One of the groups he has been linked to is the notorious Grupo Elite. This unit evolved into something resembling a private army for the CJNG. Videos of heavily armed men dressed in military-style camouflage circulated around the world for years. Armored vehicles moved in convoys through Mexican states. Some of these vehicles were fitted with improvised armor that resembled military equipment used in active war zones. For many Mexicans, the images served as a shocking reminder of just how much power the cartels had accumulated. And according to several investigators, Juan Carlos stood close to the center of that development. Despite his high-ranking position, he managed to stay out of the hands of authorities for an astonishingly long time. And that is no small achievement. The CJNG has spent years at the very top of the priority list for both Mexico and the United States. Hundreds of investigations, arrests, and military operations were launched in an effort to weaken the organization. Yet Juan Carlos remained out of reach. That hardly changed even as pressure on the cartel intensified. Several members of El Mencho's family were arrested. Financial networks were exposed, assets were frozen. But Juan Carlos remained largely a ghost. That is precisely why so many analysts immediately focused on him when the era of El Mencho appeared to be coming to an end. Suddenly, a power vacuum emerged. An organization operating across dozens of countries cannot function without leadership. Someone has to make decisions. Someone has to prevent conflicts between factions. Someone has to ensure that billions of dollars generated through drug trafficking continue to flow. And increasingly, all signs pointed in the same direction. Juan Carlos Valencia González. Not everyone was convinced. Within cartels, a transfer of power rarely happens without complications. Loyalty can shift quickly when enormous amounts of money are at stake. Local commanders often have their own interests. Rival factions constantly look for opportunities to gain influence. That means Juan Carlos must prove more than just having the right family name. He must prove that he can actually maintain control. That may be his greatest challenge. El Mencho built his reputation over decades. He survived rival cartels, military operations, and international manhunts. His name alone was enough to inspire fear throughout the Mexican underworld. Juan Carlos does not possess that same legacy. He has influence. He has connections. He has family ties. But authority inside a cartel is something that ultimately has to be earned. At the same time, his background gives him unique advantages. Because he was born in California, he possesses American ties that almost no other major cartel leader can claim. That makes his situation legally more complicated than that of many of his predecessors. For American authorities, that makes him a particularly significant target. He has been wanted for years for his alleged involvement in international drug trafficking, money laundering, and other forms of organized crime. The United States has offered millions of dollars in reward money for information leading to his capture. Yet so far, that does not appear to have slowed him down. In fact, some experts believe the CJNG could enter an entirely new phase under his leadership, where El Mencho became known for brutal confrontations and open displays of power. Some analysts believe Juan Carlos may focus more on consolidation, less visible violence, greater emphasis on international smuggling routes, financial networks, and long-term stability. Whether that actually happens remains to be seen. The history of Mexico's drug war has shown that predictions often prove wrong. Cartels are constantly changing. Allies become enemies. Enemies become partners. What seems impossible today can become reality tomorrow. But one thing is certain. Juan Carlos Valencia González is no longer the unknown figure hidden behind El Mencho's shadow. His name now appears in international reports, intelligence assessments, and headlines around the world. The question is no longer who he is. The question is whether he can truly hold the powerful CJNG together. Because leading a cartel is very different from inheriting one. The coming years will determine whether Juan Carlos Valencia González is remembered as the man who successfully carried on El Mencho's empire, or as the leader under whose rule one of the most powerful cartels in the world slowly began to fall apart. Not everyone walks through every door in the crime mansion, but if you are still here, you might belong. Subscribe and don't miss what's behind the next one.